10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
There's no need to fear.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, cause I'm black.
Hey everybody! Welcome back to Super Black, an all-black panel podcasting experience where we talk about all things superhero, past, present, and future. From Marvel and DC to anime, there is no stone we will leave unturned as we take a deep dive into the genre of superpowered individuals and the worlds they inhabit. I am your friendly neighborhood host, Zuri Washington. I use she, her pronouns, and you can follow me on IG at Zuri with a fringe on top. That's Zuri with a Z, not Suri with an S. I'll leave it to the rest of today's super panel to introduce themselves. Take it away.
Hey, I'm Corinne Scott, she, her pronouns. You can find me on Instagram. I do this every time. My literal Instagram handle is I am Corinne Scott. What are two N's and an E?
Hey there, I'm Sheridan, pronouns she, her, and you can follow me on Instagram at Island Zephyr Cooks if you're interested in vegan food. If you hate vegans and want to leave me hateful comments, feel free to do that too. I don't care.
And my name is Jason Williams of House Slytherin. And you can find me, I use he, him pronouns, and you can find me on Instagram at Blue Ranger 83.
And don't forget to follow the podcast on IG at Super Black Podcast, or you could follow us on Twitter at Super Podcast. But now that we're all assembled, let's get started. Sui, today we are talking top 5 worst pairings, worst love interests. Which there are so many.
Many.
This is gonna be a tough one, but we'll do our best. So
I need to know what made you all think of this topic? Please tell me how we got on this topic.
It was Corinne.
I was talking with my friend Ryan Thurman, who we went to school with, and he is also a nerd. And he said, I was so mad about Hulk and Black Widow in Age of Ultron because where was the chemistry? There was none, and it just felt like it came out of nowhere. And Ryan was like, Corinne, are these? Oh, she just started. Nev's just started. Are these? He said, Corinne, are these things that keep you up at night, or are these things that you can put aside so you can go see another Marvel movie? The latter, but oh my god, it's terrible.
Okay.
And I know you're one of the main example you gave was Sharon Carter and Steve, which
weird,
so weird.
That was a choice. That was a choice. It was the wrong choice.
It was the wrong choice.
The word. And then Bucky and Sam sitting in the back of the car just being like, that's our boy. I was like, no.
No.
Wait, I'm writing these down. Hold on. I'm already going to start writing them down. So we got
Sharon and Steve, and we have Bruce Banner / Hulk and Black Widow.
There was a clip actually from the Spider-Man cartoon, like one of the older Spider-Man cartoons that my friend sent me, and Mary Jane, Peter as Spider-Man, he has the mask off, but the rest of the suit on. And he's talking to Mary Jane, and he's like, I love you. Like, I want to be with you forever. And she goes, I just don't know. And she jumps out of the window, and he has to like jump down to get her. And he grabs her, saves her from crashing down to the city streets. And she was like, I just needed to be sure that you loved me. And I was like, this is the most toxic.
Mary Jane.
Toxic.
No.
Toxic.
Oh, no.
Toxic. So
The old
But
cartoons, Mary Jane's a little toxic.
She's a
with-
little
She's
toxic.
mess.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever really liked Mary Jane, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
Truly. I think Zendaya could make me, she made me like her.
Yes.
But like
Yes.
prior, like
And no shade to Kirsten Dunst or Kristen Dunst, but like, no, it's Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten, you
It
were
is
right.
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten.
No shade to Kirsten Dunst. I love Kirsten Dunst,
Mhm.
but like that version of Mary Jane was
Just
so
milk
dry and
It was very
bland.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Gwen Stacy any day.
Gwen Stacy. Yes.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone, all day, every day.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All day, every day.
always.
Yes.
Mhm.
Devastation.
But yeah, that
Um,
yeah,
Ooh,
MJ pre Marvel universe,
Pre Marvel MJ.
pre Disney Marvel MJ, like little
But
toxic.
Threw herself out a window.
She's like, I just needed to know that you loved me.
I hate.
In
What about-
middle school, we had high school. In high school, in health class, this woman came in to tell us about abusive relationships, and that is literally one of the first things she talked about.
Yes, yes. The like, if you're not with me, I will kill myself. That is abusive.
Exactly.
That's cool that you had someone come in to talk about that.
Yeah, that's
Right?
good.
Holy-
That's amazing.
Mhm.
And I went to a progressive private school that taught us sex ed 3 times, and never once did we talk about that. Like, that's amazing. But wow. Oh, who was I thinking of just a few seconds ago? It was something to do. Well, Wolverine and Jean Grey. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, she just never gave him. I mean, did she flirt? She flirted a little, maybe.
Yeah, just a little.
But it was always like, no, Scott's my man. Like,
Like,
you know, I don't like. Yeah, I guess as far as love
She's
interests go-
No, I just said she was too flighty. She
Flighty,
Yeah.
flighty.
liked
And-
the feeling.
yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Mm.
And I guess we could
Yeah.
put that on the list, or put that in the running on the list, because of how she, I don't want to say she toyed with Logan. I don't know. You think so?
Corinne said she did.
She did.
You know what she was doing?
She did. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Jean. Get out of here. There was something else that was. We talk about in general in the comic book community about the term fridging, like where it happens in Deadpool, for example, Deadpool 2, where they kill off the character in order to. It's usually a female character. 99% of the time, a female character. They kill off the female character in order to give the main character some kind of drive, and be like, oh, I have to revenge her or do that, whatever. So I know there's probably so many examples. Obviously, I just said Deadpool 2, but I liked them as a couple before that. But then there are certain situations where they have literally added in a wife for Dr. Freeze. Even though I love the story, it breaks my heart. The story breaks my heart every time I think about it. But they added in a wife for him just so he could have a thing, like because before that point, he was just like, I have a freeze ray.
It also gave us that storyline also gave us an iconic Poison Ivy line from Uma Thurman. This is a one-woman show. Like it was able to spawn that iconic line. So give me 2.
I'm gonna take it to anime because I kind of brought
Do
this
it.
up earlier. Well, I hinted at it earlier. This is going to be controversial.
Oh,
all right. But Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask.
Oh no!
Yes, that's not controversial. Yes.
That's not
It's not.
controversial for
Okay,
me.
great.
No.
Not for
Because
me.
okay,
That's
great.
crazy
Because
too.
he just is like, Usagi, you're so dumb. Like, da 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 da. Like,
He's
why
a
do you think of
jerk.
this ding dong? He's a jerk. And so I was talking about the Sailor Stars, Seiya comes in and he treats her so right, and she knows it. Like, you can see it. There's a moment that I cry at it every time, where she thinks she's in trouble, like the evil people are after her. Seiya doesn't transform, but still comes to save her. And it looks like Tuxedo Mask because he's been gone and she's been like super depressed. And he comes in and it's raining and she just starts like crying. Like she's like, I don't know where he is. And I don't know. I feel so alone. I'm so alone. And he goes up to her and he's like, let me be that for you. And you're just like, and she stares at him. And there's just this moment where you're like, let him be that for her, because he like, well, I'm going to use they because the gender changes, but like they are the only person, like they get her, you know, like they get her, and he's gone. Like he's like you know, Mamoru's gone. I mean, we later find out like he didn't mean to be gone, but you know, but still, like she's thinking he's abandoned her. He's not writing back, and this guy, you know, he sees her and he's like, or they see her and they're like, this person is my princess. This person is the person that I care, flaws and all. Like, I don't think she's stupid. I don't think anything. Like, I will never talk down to her. He does, like, they don't talk down to her at all. Like, they just uplift her and talk about how amazing she is as she is, not trying to make her something that she isn't, but as is. And I was like, this is the person you grow with. All right. This is, but there's this sense of, you can see in her eyes, this sense of like, I can't be with you because I have to do these things. I have to be with this person so that this child can be born, so that this future can happen. And it's like, oh,
trapped by fate.
Trapped by fate. Like, it's so sad. So yeah, that's my my couple, Mamoru to Usagi. Yeah,
because he's so mean. Like, and sometimes I wonder if people conflate like the future version of him with the current version of him, which is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care how hot and tall you are, get out of here, mom.
Yeah. You're mean.
You throw roses at people, get out of here. But yeah, I 100% agree. I'm gonna throw out, by the way, my top period. You can't change my mind about this. Harley Quinn and Joker, worst.
Oh, you think so? Really?
No, the worst couple. Yeah, what are you talking about? The definition of toxic.
Right, but they're both like crazy, so like they.
It doesn't matter.
This is
like this recent season of Big Mouth. Just because Lola and Jay have similar terrible childhood homes doesn't mean they belong together. Nor do I think that Jay belongs with Matthew, but that's a whole other conversation. But moving on, and so like, the Harley Quinn show, which we will talk about at length a different day, did such a good job of divesting Harley from the Joker and why she is so tied to him and why her identity is so tied to him. Because if you want to talk about an origin story, her origin story is all wrapped up in that man. But she's been herself before that point. He didn't make her.
Yeah.
She is herself. So again, I think that Harley and Joker, one of the worst couples. I love watching them interact. Don't get me wrong. But they are a terrible couple. Terrible. I can't say that she's terrible for him, but I will 100% say that he ruins her and always will pull her back into some bullshit. And she's like, okay, Mr. J, you want to beat up on me? Okay, Mr. J. Oh, I'll just be really sweet. My pudding. I love you, pudding. Like, it's just like, oh God. Meanwhile, her and Poison Ivy is the best thing that's ever happened to her.
I stan it so much.
Best thing that ever happened to her. I am so grateful to Bruce Timm for creating Harley Quinn so that she could inevitably be with Poison Ivy. So yeah, I'm gonna Harley and Joker is my top one, and you can't change my mind on that.
What do you think, sticking with that universe? I've never really enjoyed any of Batman's love interests. Like, they've never really made much sense to me, especially in the Nolan version. Like,
Talia,
he and Rachel Dawson, like
Rachel,
Rachel Dawes or whatever her name. Yes. Rachel.
I always forget her name. I'm just like Maggie Gyllenhaal. And then at some point, Katie Holmes.
Yes,
she was the first. Katie Holmes was the first.
Oh, that's right. Katie Holmes was the first. That's right. Oh,
and
my
that
God.
character is just mad bland. Like, what? And I get they
not
have
even
the
good
childhood.
for Bruce Wayne. I'm like, what do we do? Who is Rachel? Get out of here. The best person that Bruce could ever be with is, generally speaking, Selena Kyle. I think, but of the top ones I'm thinking in my head. But and then his relationship with Talia is just like, Bruce, what are we doing?
You know what? You know what we need? You know what we need? All right, we need a universe in which Alfred is a young hot man.
Great.
And they hook up. Gay Batman makes so much sense to me.
Right. Gay Batman makes sense to a lot of people, which obviously is from the time of the Robins in the past. And
yes.
all that stuff.
But like, even now with the darker, like Nolan version, like,
or at least
gay.
At least sexually fluid. I feel like he would probably be more fluid.
Well, they can't even get past. I heard in the Harley Quinn season 3 that they were supposed to have a scene. They wrote a scene, and the WB executives were like, no. But they had a scene in which Batman was eating Selena Kyle out.
Yes.
And
I did see that.
So they won't even go so far as to do that with Batman, let alone to have him be a sexually fluid. We saw how people reacted to Superman, which was his son, but like still how people reacted to Superman being bisexual. Like, so let alone I can't imagine the chairs that would be thrown.
Right.
If they were like, Batman hooked up with, that's what fan fiction is for, and that is why I read fan fiction. And I want to know what happens when the Joker is like, you know what, you're kind of attractive, and I'm like, okay, but yeah, I don't know how I feel. I don't know. I started thinking about April O'Neil and Donnie. I don't know how I feel about them as the turtles.
The turtles,
and that's not because of the bestiality thing. I'll move on from that.
Yeah,
bestiality notwithstanding.
Notwithstanding. I don't know how I feel about them as a couple, because sometimes they've had so little interaction with the outside world, and April O'Neil is one of like 5 humans that they see on a regular basis, aside from Casey and like Dr. Stockman barely counts because he's like a head on a thing now, but like whatever. Dr. Stockman and maybe a couple others that they see on a consistent basis. And I don't know how I feel. I've never known how I felt about them as a couple, especially when they started when I was in high school. I think that 2007 TMNT came out that I really like, had a great theme song. Like turtles counted up 1, 2, 3. It was great. But after that point, they really started to be like, oh, Donnie has a crush on April because she's kind of like a smart, nerdy girl, and Donnie's the nerdy one we've established now, which happened over time too. The turtles all used to be pretty like equal.
They were all.
I feel like they always, like, even in the original cartoon, it was like Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines. Like, it was like it was clear like what they all were.
But he wasn't a nerd.
Yeah.
He wears
they
like
weren't. None of them were nerds.
Like he wore Donnie. Now they get voice actors who talk like this, and he's a little bit. He talks in his nose, and he's very much a nerd, and he's like, like they've been very clear about the archetypes that they're going after with these characters now. But originally, that is not how they were.
They were all dudes. They were all surfer dudes.
Right, they were surfer dudes. They were all more like Mikey.
In the live action movie, they were all closer to that.
Yes.
Even though like Raphael was like a New Yorker, like a straight up Bronx, like Brooklyn, New Yorker or whatever. But like,
even physically, they were built differently. Raph was like this, and Mikey was the smallest, and so therefore he was like, boop, 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 boop.
Right.
And then Donnie, did Donnie have glasses?
He didn't have.
I don't remember if he had
in the
glasses
original
in live action. No, I'm talking about live action.
Oh, live action.
No, not in the live action. No.
But I feel like I distinctly remember his voice being that in the original cartoon. Like, he was always this kind of nerdy voice, and it wasn't until the live action. Because I remember live action, I was like, that was Corey Feldman's voice, and I was like, this is not the Donatello that I know.
Oh, right, it was Corey Feldman.
And who did not do the second one. He was nerdier in the second one, but then Corey Feldman, I believe, came back for the third.
Was there a
Ninja
third
Turtles
one?
movie?
Yeah,
there was.
I
We don't have to
that
talk about it.
completely.
We don't need to talk about it.
I missed that completely. I saw the first one in theaters with my dad. I took my dad because we were just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like,
talking
you
about
know
the
what?
OGs.
We're talking about 90s.
The
90s.
OG.
I was like, my brain's we keep saying live
Sorry,
action,
Zuri,
and I'm
I'm
like,
so old.
yes, there have been 3 of those. You're 100% correct. I have seen them all. I'm on the same page now. If you're joining us, I got confused, so I hope you're following along.
You're following.
It's been a long day. Y'all know we record these things in advance, so here we are.
Okay, I'm putting Donatello and April O'Neil.
Good. Yes. So who do we have so far?
We've got Sharon, Carter, and Steve. We've got Hulk and Black Widow. We've got pre-Marvel Disney MJ and Spider-Man, Logan and Jean Grey, Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask, Harley Quinn and the Joker, Batman and
anybody.
A plethora of love interests. And
you were born alone, you'll die alone.
You'll die alone. And Donatello and April O'Neil.
Word.
I'm trying, like, I can't even think. I feel like they don't like to give female superheroes love interests unless they're already, like, I don't know, like, it's weird, right? It's like they don't give them anybody unless they might be another hero.
Well, we at an earlier date we were talking about Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman. I'm going to say I hate Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman specifically in the DC extended universe because they did that girl. They did Diana so dirty with that Steve Trevor storyline. Like, what are we doing? End this relationship. It's over. He's dead.
He's dead. Be done with it. Like
he died 60 plus years ago. I don't know what we're doing anymore.
Like,
so
girl.
Like pining. It's the pining for me.
Yeah.
I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do this. She is she's literally a god.
She's literally a god.
In the DC extended universe of it all. She is a god, and she doesn't have to pine for nobody. People should pine for her.
Yes.
She's
not a human.
Not a human.
Like
in the Justice League series, when they imply there's some kind of romantic connection between, or former romantic connection or interest at least between her and Superman, between her and Batman. I remember in I think it's when I want to say Mordred Le Fay turns everyone into children, and they're acting like children, but they're still themselves, and like they have this like little love triangle going on because they're like 10 years old, but and Batman's like really embarrassed because Wonder Woman, like Diana's like teasing him or something like that, which I think is so cute. But I am more interested in that triumvirate than I ever am in Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman at all. So
just like F-boy vibes.
And like straight F-boy vibes.
Like I'm like, you're too good for this. Why is there a whole movie about you pining after some D? I can't.
And also the love for him is what made you fly. Why?
Hate it.
Okay,
hated
yeah,
it.
That
hated
I was
it.
like,
Get out of here. Get out of here, Patty and Zach.
Stop it.
We're on a first name basis at this point. Get out of my life. I'm so
I completely forgot about that. Oh my god.
Because you wanted to block it from your memory. That's how bad it was. Like she was just like, oh, he talked about flying, and now I'm gonna swing through the air and do and leap and do oh god. It was a travesty. It really was a travesty. That's in my top that's in my top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
I would have to agree with you.
Damn.
That's definitely going on the top 5 list. As right now, that's like the main. We can all agree that's like the one that is definitely going on that list.
Yeah. And Harley and Joker.
And Harley
and Joker. Okay. No. I agree. When you all explained it, like I totally get what you mean. Like when I think about them, I'm like, oh, they're both like unhinged, and I felt like, oh, they're perfect for each other. But like you said, just because they're both unhinged doesn't mean they should be together. Right. It is super toxic.
She is suffering from Stockholm syndrome, like nobody's
big
business.
time.
Like really severe Stockholm syndrome. And Harley, oh my God, Harley makes me sad. But get some self-esteem, boo boo. You're so beautiful. What's wrong with you?
Beautiful. You
What's
can
wrong
kill
with
people.
you?
Like,
You do
you're
gymnastics.
amazing.
You could have been an Olympic level gymnastics person. I just don't understand. I'm trying to think. Where's love interest? Or let me think. I'm going through my DC Rolodex in my brain. Sometimes I go in Smallville world. I hate Clark and
Lois.
I don't like. I think Lois in the context of Smallville, the TV series. I was like, no. I didn't like it. I was like, Lana. That was just me. But I think when Smallville came out, because I was like, oh, I think she's like a little Asian, this actress. And so like, I remember being like, oh, there's like other ethnicities in this town. That's cool. I think it's cool that they're in a cross-racial, interracial relationship in this context. I love this for me. But but yeah, I didn't like the Lois. She always was so. I mean, that's how Lois is, but but then again, are Lois and Clark a good match?
You know, I felt
disagree.
Do you?
Oh no, I think they aren't a good match.
Okay. So yes.
Gotcha.
I was a little. I rolled my eyes a bit. I mean, I get it. Like Superman loves Lois Lane. I understand. But in Justice League, even in the in the Snyder cut, like when Lois comes running out, and that's the reason like he doesn't kill Batman, he like stops because he recognizes Lois. I can't. Part of me rolled my eyes. Part of me was just like, okay.
I mean, my eyes rolled that entire movie. I think I was the whole time.
I'm like, Martha! He doesn't recognize. Oh, stop it! Don't even talk to me about Martha. Don't even talk to me about Martha.
Oh, we're gonna have a whole conversation about Martha one day.
Oh my goodness! God. What did you say? My mother's name was Martha too. No.
Wow. No. If only that could stop evil megalomaniacal people. If only. I would go up to Donald Trump and be like, my mother's name is Mary. What? Oh my God. Mine too. Great. So we ended it. It's done.
It's done. Like
But yeah, anyway. So if you weren't clear about our political leanings, there you go.
Shocking. Not all the discussion of capitalism in the other episodes.
I know. No. But yeah, I think it's so interesting. Love is such a big part of I know we were talking with Phil about what was I Harry Potter. About Harry Potter, and like Lily's love, and love does this, and love helps you stay sane, love helps you do this, you have people around you. Batman would be insane if he didn't have Alfred. The love of Alfred, or the love of parental figures, the love of other people who are your partners. And so love is such a of course explored concept in superhero-dom, because it, at some level, who you fall in love with defines who you are, in some way, shape, or form. And so I think that's a lot of what it has to do with it. And when we see our heroes fall in love with someone that we're like, that's not right, then we question them. I think we question, we're like, why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? Why are you doing this to us? You are hurting me by doing this. So I think that's a lot of what makes it feel personal when we witness it happening, because we were like, Steve belongs with Peggy, and then he was like, Sharon, and we were like, no.
Ooh, hey.
No. Cease and desist. Cease and desist. Just end it.
I think for me, the more I think about it, it's like, especially with the male superheroes, they give them these kind of milquetoast women that they fall in love with, to almost be like, oh, here's the woman they love. She's beautiful and has no personality, because he has all the personality. It's like, like they don't have any bite, any feist, like feisty, like. Ooh.
And I think you said something important. Like, I think that's like the reason that they don't is because they want to, all the shine is going to the male superhero, and they don't want to flesh these women out and these characters out anymore, because like, oh, they're not the focus. They're just this set piece sometimes, almost. Which is it's disappointing.
It is disappointing. I mean, that's why like Lois is so like acerbic because of that. They're trying to push her so far into the like, I'm a hard-hitting reporter and like I don't give a shit what you think.
I'm a
like,
journalist.
I'm a journalism. Toss my hair. Like, and so I think they push her so far into the opposite end of the spectrum of milquetoast that sometimes I'm like, whoa, Lois, relax.
Right.
But then you also have your Talias and your half of Batman's Rolodex of people he falls in love with are villains or villainesses,
because they're interesting.
Interesting.
They got a little something to them.
They got a little something going on, or he's like, okay.
Selena Kyle's out here kicking his ass, and then at the same time, she's like, how you like this cat suit though?
But it speaks to the darkness that is intrinsic in Batman. Like he, without the dark angst that is a part of Batman's history and his whole vibe, he is a completely different character. Right. He's just a completely different person, which is why they keep trying to chase this in the DC EU. They're like, okay, so Aquaman's Batman, and so is Superman, and in the Arrowverse on CW, it's like everyone's just so angsty, and I'm like, I don't need that. I liked Green Arrow in the Justice League cartoon because he was a little more like even keel, had a couple quips every once in a while, but wasn't as quippy as the Flash. So the Flash was a jokester and Green Arrow was like a little more pragmatic, but he wasn't Batman. Everyone can't be Batman. Otherwise it's too much.
It's too moody. Like, oh my God, stop whining. Everybody's whining.
Which is why Robert Pattinson to me is just like this hair. And I know by the time we publish this, the movie will have come out. So we'll see how I feel about it after. Maybe I'll come back and be like, I changed my mind. But right now I'm like, that hair.
I know.
Very like Tobey Maguire. It's Spider-Man 3.
With the coma.
And I'm just like,
iconic.
That was a choice.
Iconically bad moment.
But
Spider-Man 3
will forever live in infamy.
For those of you who can't see that, I just double pointed. I did the Tobey Maguire. Cool Toby
walking down the street.
Cool Toby.
Cool Toby.
Come on.
Oh my goodness.
But I feel like you have good choices. So let's pick a top 5 out of these.
All right. So we've got for sure Harley Quinn and Joker and Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor. So do we want we haven't put these in order yet, but that's part of the top 5. What do you think between let me read off what we have. Sharon and Steve, Hulk and Black Widow, pre-Marvel Disney MJ and Spider-Man, Logan and Jean Grey, Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask, Batman and love interests, Donatello and April O'Neil, Superman and Lois Lane.
That's a lot of good choices.
I would put Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask in there because of how toxic it was.
So toxic.
And also because of how young she was.
Yeah.
She's imagine a 14-year-old girl being like told you're dumb by the person she is like in love with, and she's just like, okay.
14-year-old girl and a 17-year-old boy.
Right. Which is a huge difference in development at that point, like mentally and yada yada yada. She just entered high school or high school, and he's about to graduate.
Yeah.
All kinds of toxic.
I'd put that in there. That's like, that would be like 3rd or 4th for me.
Yeah. I could see that. Now I feel like I could take off, and let me know if you agree, take off Logan and Jean Grey from the ones that are remaining. Because there was some chemistry between them, even though she kind of So I was thinking that could go.
I think I just felt really bad for Logan being like love struck like that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
But
sure.
And her just kind of dangling him along. Yeah.
We didn't even talk about this, but I want to add this to the list. Just in the X-Men movies, I did not like Bobby Iceman and Shadowcat together. I really did not like that pairing because I was like, that's Rogue's man. What are you doing?
That's
Yeah.
At the time, it was very effed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did not like.
I haven't watched those movies in such a long time, so it's not fresh in my memory banks.
Yeah,
in any way. But
like, how you gonna take the one man Rogue can be with? Like, like the one, unless there's another X-Men that cannot, the one, like let her have her man.
Bobby. Rogue's like,
what about Magneto and fucking Mystique or whatever happened in that last trilogy? Who was it? Was that who she was obsessed with?
She was
obsessed with Magneto. Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
Mystique
and Magneto.
I was like, no.
That was weird.
No, I don't like it. That's stupid.
Why
do you do that?
And her Magneto and Professor X, like, in their past, like, fighting over her fate, like, just why?
No,
why?
Very silly.
Just take away all of her agency. Why don't you?
Right. They really did. Because I can't say the original actress. Her last name always eludes me, but the original actress who played Mystique,
Rebecca
Romijn. I look at it and I'm like, I don't know how to say that. Rebecca Romijn. She was so like, she was just like, boop, boop. I'm doing stuff. I'm ready. Magneto, you want me to do what? Sure, but I'm also going to do this. Boop, kill that guy, do this thing. Great, loved her. But they just completely took it. Was like the Wonder Woman DCEU effect. They just took everything from her. It's like, oh, her life is because of these men. Okay, whatever.
Right.
I mean, don't get me started on how they took Storm and made her like, oh, she shoots lightning. Like, she is a freaking god. Okay, like. She's a goddess. You read in the comics, she's like, bam, bam, bam. Somebody sees Storm, she's like, I don't even need to use my powers to whoop your ass. I'll do it without it.
We did talk about this in another episode, but we already knew what was up in that first X-Men movie when her major line was, do you know what happens to a frog when it's hit by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else. Are you sick? You gonna give my sis that line?
Terrible line.
Like,
it was bad.
Oh, come on.
Bad.
Yeah. Okay. Did Storm ever have a love interest?
She has many.
Oh, yeah, she has a ton.
Many.
Obviously, Black Panther.
They were married.
And I have so many feelings about it, but I won't say they are the worst love interest, but I think he did her super dirty.
Yeah.
So he did her super dirty for sure, but that's a whole other conversation. But I think they were a great couple. For the time that they existed together.
So do we want to put? How do we feel about keeping pre-Marvel Disney MJ and Spider-Man?
We can let that go because it's so specific.
Yeah, we can let it go. And it's very petty.
It is petty? Okay.
I mean, we can be petty up in here.
We can have a petty list. We can have a petty list.
The petty side list. What was the other ones?
Well, Corinne had the Hulk and Black Widow. And I don't know if that offended me as much. Like,
yeah, I was very indifferent to it.
Right.
I think Steve and Sharon is worse than Hulk and Black Widow. It did come out of nowhere, but they purposefully. It felt so purposeful. In what was it? Winter Soldier, probably. Yeah, probably Winter Soldier. It just felt so purposeful, and I was like, no. No. Oh, we're still going with this? Oh no. We're oh no. That's how I felt the whole movie. Like I was like, okay, we're getting into the other parts of the plot line, and then they'd be romantic, and I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
Stop. So yeah, I think that Sharon
and Steve. I feel like Sharon and Steve could be 5.
Sure.
Number 5. As far as impact goes. Now we need one more on this
Batman
list.
and everybody else.
I honestly love that. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
Batman and everybody else.
I'm not mad. So, okay. We've got now the 4 rounding out the list in no particular order yet. What order do we want to put these in? Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask, Harley Quinn and Joker, Batman love interests, and Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor.
I would put Harley and Joker at number 1.
For sure.
Okay, yeah, most toxic.
That stays at number 1 for me.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we think about Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor at number 2, just because of what it does to her character and how much of her character gets stripped away because of this?
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. So now we have
Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask and Batman and love interests.
I would put Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
That's 3?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's something about her age and the innocence of it all. Just makes me think about it differently. I haven't watched. I watched Sailor Moon Crystal, but like I haven't watched the old Sailor Moon in some time. But when I've watched some clips, and I'm like, Jesus effing Christ! What what is happening? So yeah, I definitely think that that's worse than Batman. I think Batman does it to himself. He's a grown ass man. So and Sharon and Steve is just like boring, but like
like boring and gross.
So just to recap for everyone, number 5 on our list is Sharon Carter and Steve Rogers. Number 4 on our list is Batman and his many love interests that just don't work. Okay. Number 3 is Sailor Moon and the predatory Tuxedo Mask. Number 2 is Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor. Right. And number 1, the most toxic of them all, Harley Quinn and the Joker.
I know that we're definitely going to get some hate about Harley Quinn and the Joker because a lot of people are like, no, they're perfect together. They must stay together forever. Like making out in acid soup. Like, okay, get out.
Come on. You got to get in that therapy, babe. We got to heal that trauma.
Oh my God. But please let us know what you think. Follow us on IG at Super Black Podcast and follow us on Twitter at Super Podcast. Tell us who you think the worst love interests are in the superhero world. I know we also covered anime, so if you have some bad love interest there, I'm sure I could think of a couple in My Hero Academia. I'm just like, no, wrong.
So many animes, so many bad choices.
Just bad choices. There's some bad choices all around being had. But y'all can lead us out.
Well, my name is Jason Williams, and you can find me on IG at Blue Ranger 83.
I'm Sheridan. You can find me on Instagram at Island Zephyr Cooks.
Get some of those vegan stuffs. And Corinne had to head out. She silently exited, but I'll do her thing for her. Corinne, you can find her on I am Corinne Scott on IG. And as always, I'm Zuri, she, her pronouns. You can find me on IG at Zuri with a fringe on top. That's Zuri with a Z, not Zuri with an S. And as always, should you need heroes, we've got your back. We fear no topic we attack. If conversation is what you lack, you'll find it here with Super Black. Bye, everybody.
Bye.